Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. The power and pleasure of agreement. Amos 3 verse 3 says, "Do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so?" It is everywhere and it is in everything. If you're listening to a 100-voice choir with an orchestra, the one thing that you will notice is that under the leadership and direction of the conductor, this choir and orchestra together produce the most harmonious music. That is agreement. You go over to a local stadium to watch a soccer game being played between two strong teams. But before long, you notice the quality of the game is greatly determined by the cohesion and team spirit between the players of one team. And in fact, that team goes on to win. And speaking of sports, how can I help but make reference to the recent Olympic Games and the result of the 4x100 meters relay for men? That race was not won by the team with the fastest runners. That race was won by Italy, with one very outstanding runner who did the second leg, but through the art of excellent baton passing between all four runners, they defeated 7 strong teams. The power of agreement. The text before us paints a picture of two seeking togetherness. Let us consider a married couple. By getting married, they have agreed that they want to spend their lives together. Each of them brings individual strengths to the marriage. As the relationship goes forward beyond the wedding day, they find that they are faced with issues that demand a vital factor, agreement. How they handle finances, the raising of children, vacation, where they live. The couple knows that if they are able to come to an agreement on the issues that they face, then they will discover that they will be successful in overcoming these challenges. And that's exactly what they want, right? They want to be financially successful. They want to raise wonderful children. They want to settle in a city or in a particular house that they both like. In fact, the opposite is true. If they cannot agree on anything, they are going to experience conflict and the inability to have harmony in their relationship. Let us talk about another kind of relationship, interpersonal relationships. Who is your best friend? Or who are your closest friends? Great friendships thrive on achieving agreement. At first, these friends find themselves together because they have something or some things in common. They like each other, and the friendship emerges. But can any two walk unless they agree? What agreement exists in your friendship? For some people, it is that of mutual respect, and that can apply to anything. What is important to each of you? Let us take the matter of faith, for example. The Bible tells us that it is impossible for two persons who have opposite faith positions to live in agreement. And if they do, someone is compromising or denying the significance of that person's faith. Your faith is absolute, which means that you believe that your faith is the only way forward. The point is not that you cannot have a relationship, but as the text says, you cannot walk together. You cannot experience the harmony of worshiping together. You cannot walk together in terms of executing the demands of your individual faith. It is simply not practical. If we're going to talk about agreement, we have to celebrate the strong friendship between David and Jonathan. David was a shepherd boy. Jonathan was a prince. David was hated by Jonathan's father, Saul, who did everything in his power to kill David. Jonathan broke ranks with his father, not in defiance, but because the two as friends had a strong bond, had an agreement. In fact, Jonathan honored their friendship by helping David in escaping or avoiding confrontations with his own father. They looked out for each other in so many ways. When David heard that his friend was killed in a war, David wept bitterly. And several years later, in an effort to honor their strong friendship, he searched for and found a living relative of Jonathan, a son who was disabled. David brought the young man to live in the palace as a member of the royal family, all because of the strong friendship of agreement between the prince and the former shepherd. Jesus had 12 close friends. He called them disciples. They had a great relationship for 3.5 years. They operated in agreement until it was proven that one of them was not in agreement. One of them went rogue and did something reprehensible. He betrayed Jesus, the leader. Judas was not walking in agreement with Jesus and the rest of the team. He had ulterior motives that did not line up with the goals of the group, and in the end, it cost him his life. But the rest of the disciples went on to be the world changers that Jesus had called them to be. But I want us to look at the pleasure of agreement. And in this case, we're going to look at the agreement in prayer. Prayer that changes things. Prayer that is the major weapon used by the children of God to fight against the destructive forces of the devil. In Matthew 18 and verse 19, we hear Jesus laying it out on the table. Again, truly I tell you, if 2 of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. That is not just a possibility. It is Jesus guaranteeing an outcome of agreed prayer. If 2 of God's children can agree in prayer in the name of Jesus on something that they would like to see or experience or have, Jesus said his Father will honor that prayer. My friend, there is power in agreement in who you interact with, but there is also pleasure in agreement in who you pray with. Let us strive to experience the power and pleasure of agreement.